I'm going to discuss exercises related to the lesson classes and objects. This is our lesson number 1. You should have studied lesson number 1 properly in order to understand these exercises. Okay, so let's look at this. Following table shows details of employees in a given company, and now part A, it says create a class called employee that includes the three attributes given in the table. Further, the class should contain an attribute to store the average salary of the employees. So in order to do that, let's open Notepad. You have to create a class called employee. In order to store the ID, let's use an integer, int data type, and int age. In order to store the salary, let's store it in double data type, and it says further the class should contain an attribute to store the average salary of the employees. So now you know static double. In order to store the average salary, we can use a class attribute. Okay, now you know these three are instance attributes and this one is a class attribute, and this one is common to all the objects, and these three we have separate copies for each of the objects. And now you know, since our class name is employee, you have to save this file. Let's save it in this folder I had already created. Okay, so now here we have to use the same name as the class name, employee.java, and now create a class called try that includes the main method. Now we have to create another class. Class try that includes the main method. That means this is our driver class. Yes, in order to, now we have to save this one. Let's save it inside the same folder we had stored our employee Java file, and here you have to save it as try.java, and let's look at the third part C. Create employee objects and store information given in the table. Now we have to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 objects we have to create. So now we have discussed where reference variables are stored and where objects are stored. Then before that, now let's employee E1, let's say it's E1 new employee. Okay, now if you look at this, then you can see here you have our stack and then heap, stack memory and heap memory. So when we create E1, it is created on the stack, and here this is our object. There we have, if you look at let's look at the double OP folder. There if you look at this, there are 4 attributes: ID, age, salary, AVG, salary. These are the 4 attributes, and now by execution of this line we create an object that holds default values for its attributes, and this one is a class attribute. Therefore our notation is to underline it, and now you know, if you consider these values, default value of integer is 0, this is 0, this is an int, okay, this is int, therefore 0, this is int, therefore 0, salary, it is a double, therefore 0.0, AVG salary, that also 0.0, okay, therefore this is the object that is created on the stack. Okay, so now let's try to assign values to the object using the dot operator. They are e1 dot id, e1 dot id, one 5 6 3 e1 dot age, e1 dot in this way we can assign values. So you have to 15 6 3 6 3 to the age attribute we have assigned 18, and to the salary attribute 45,000. In this way you have stored, and these 3 values you have to assign and this one we have to compute. The system should compute this value. Okay, therefore we are not going to assign a value to this attribute, and then after that let's create the next one. E2 new employee, E2 dot ID, that is 8659, E2 dot age 25, E2 dot salary 25,000, again we create. So I am worrying about the space. Okay, so let's put it here. Okay, and this is our E2, and E2 stores this memory location, and there are 8659 ID, 8659 age, 25 salary, 25,000, 5,000, AVG salary 0.0. That is a class attribute. So let's create the third one. Six 954 32 that is our third object. ID 6954 6954, then age 32, salary 30,000, AVG salary, you have to underline it, and this one. Okay, so then we move to the next one. Now that is our E4. ID value 8562, 8562, age 61, salary 15,000, E4 now let's create the next object. Employee E5 equal to new employee, not T. We use the assignment operator. Okay, so E5 dot ID E5 ID value 2493, 2493, age 52, salary 28,000, then AVG salary this is our E5. Then let's create the next object. Employee is E6. We use the assignment operator and E6 dot ID 485, E6 dot age 42, E6 dot salary 50,000, 6485, this is our E6. Okay, E6 ID value 6485, 6485, age 42, salary 50,000, this one our class attribute, and this is our E6, and now we create the next object, employee E7, new employee E7 dot ID E7 dot age 72, E7 dot salary 35,000. Okay, now let's draw it. Our E7, and let's E7, it is this one, then ID (7596), age 72, uh, 35,000. Now our class attribute, now in this way we have 7 reference variables on the stack, and on the heap 7 objects. Now let's open command prompt. In order to compile and run, you have to go inside our OOP folder. Now we can use javac try.java. We compile. Okay, we have to use javac. Okay, in order to compile. No errors. Now java try.java try. We can see there are no errors. Okay, so let's continue. Display the details of the employee with ID 2493. 2493. This one. So this is the reference variable. Now E5 dot ID E5 dot age E5 dot salary E5 dot AVG salary. In that way you can use the dot operator. Now let's compile and run. Now you can see this values. Okay, so let's move to the next part. Compute the average salary of the employees and store it in the relevant attribute. In order to do that, here let's remove this part. Okay, and in order to compute the average salary, E1 dot AVG, yes, E1, no, you can simply use employee dot AVG salary. Okay, because AVG salary is a class attribute. I have told you in the lesson 1, we can use the class name dot any class attribute. Okay, so here employee dot AVG salary, that is equal to E1 dot salary plus E2 dot salary plus E3 dot salary plus E4 dot salary plus E5 dot salary plus E6 6 dot salary plus E7 dot salary, and we have to divide it by 7. Okay, the next part is to display the average salary of the employees. Now let's compile and run. Now you can see the average salary value. So let's try to compute it and see what we have got is correct. Here you have to include then 45,000 plus 25,000 plus Okay, here E3, no? This one is our E3. I have forgotten to put it. This is our E3. Then here 30,000 plus 15,000 plus 28,000 plus 50,000 plus 35,000. We divide it by 7. So wait a minute, okay. Now we have, again let's try to compute it. 45,000 plus 25,000 plus 25,000 plus 30,000 plus 15,000 plus 28,000 plus 50,000 plus 35,000. We divide it by 7. Then we get this value, no? So what we have got is correct. Okay, so now let's move to the next question. Change the salary of the employee with ID 8559. 8659. Okay, 8659. Uh, 8659, it is this one. So we have to change the salary of the employee with ID this one to 20,000. That is our E2. Therefore, E2 dot salary, we set it to 20,000. Now what happens when we execute this line of code? E2 dot salary, E2 dot salary, this one will be changed to 20,000. Okay, this one will be changed to 20,000. Okay, earlier I forgot you to tell, and wait before we do this change. Let's keep the previous value in E2. We had here 25,000, and once we execute this line of code, then this value changes, AVG salary, and in all the places here, 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 and here. In all these places you will get 32,571, 32,571, 571, and likewise. Okay, so I'm not putting the entire number. Let's say that number will be here. Okay, what you see here. Okay, 32,571, 32,571, and so on. Okay, here also 32,571, so on, 32,571, so on. Here also 32,571, so on, 32,571, 32,571. Likewise, we have the same value, average salary value in every place. The reason is, now since this is a class variable, we have one copy. Even though we have written it in each place, we have a single copy since it is a class attribute. Now what we have done is, we change this to 20,000, E2.salary, we change this to 20,000 in the next line of code, 20,000. But actually, now you know, when you change salary of one particular employee, definitely the average salary should change, but that is not going to happen automatically. We have to do it manually, no? Therefore, again we have to compute the average salary. Now let's say, now what should be the average salary you should get? First try to compute it. 45,000 plus 20,000 plus 30,000 plus 15,000 plus 28,000 plus 50,000 plus 35,000. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You have to divide it by 7. You will get this value. Okay, you will have to get this value. Let's see. Then again, it also says in the here, again compute the average salary of the employees. Now we have to again compute, and let's display it as well. Therefore, these two lines you can simply copy and paste. Now let's compile and run. Okay, now you can see 31,857. That means after the execution of this line of code, this value again changes to that value. In every places, okay, in every places 31857, 31857, and I do not have spaces space to write the entire value, so I put a wavy line. Okay, that is not a standard notation. Okay, so 31857 and so on. 31857 31857, likewise 31857, here also 31857, 31857. Likewise we have the same value in each object. The reason is this is a class attribute. I have already told this you. This is a class attribute. For all the objects we maintain a single copy. Therefore, in each place we can see the same value. Now let's move to the next part. Add 10% of the average salary to the employee with ID 8562. 8562. Now let's see. Eight five six two. This one. So it is this. So 10% of the average salary to the employee. Now actually to the salary of the employee with ID this one. Okay. So you have to. This is our E4 dot salary. We have to add to the existing value. We have to add 10%. That means 0.1. 10% means 10 we divide by 100. 0.1. Okay. 1 into employee dot avg salary. Now let's try to display. You can see this value. That means here it changes. Salary of this, we have added 10% of the average salary to this value. Okay, so it is something like this. 15,000. 10% of average salary means 85.7 so on. It is something like this. Yes, 58118, something like this. Okay, 18185.7. Okay, so that's how you get this value. Here you have 18185.7. likewise you have value. Now the thing is, this value, again we have changed the salary of one particular employee. Again average salary value should change, no? This value should change. That part is not in the assignment. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. Assign first two employee objects to reference variables P1 and P2. Now we have to create two reference variables. Then to P1, E1, P2, E2. Reference variables P1 and P2, therefore now on the stack again, now here this is our heap memory and this is our stack memory. Here we create another two variables P1 and P2. So we use the assignment operator. Value of E1 will be copied to P1. That means memory location of this object now will be assigned to P1. That means P1 is also pointing this one. Memory location of this object is assigned to P2. That means P2 is also referring this object. And now it says swap objects pointed by the reference variables P1 and P2. That means you have to swap the values of P1 and P2. In order to do that, you need another reference variable E. To E, let's assign the value of P first, then to P1, then to P1 we assign the value of P2. After that, to P2 we assign the value of E. Okay, now can you understand this part? Very simple part. Okay, anyway, now we create another reference variable like this. Okay, another reference variable. Then now to this one, first what we do is to E we assign the value of P1. To E we assign the value of P1. That means now E is storing the memory location of this object. And now in the next line, to the P1 we assign the value of P2. To the P1, now it no longer stores this value. To the P1 we assign the value of P2. P2 means this one. So P1 now it is also storing this. Okay, this also is storing this. Now in the next line, to the P2 we assign the value of E. To the P2, now P2 no longer stores this value. Now it is storing the value is stored by E. This one. Now you can see P1 is pointing this object, P2 is pointing this object. Now the objects they are pointing have been swapped. Okay, so that is how we swap the values of two variables. Okay, and then display details of the employee pointed by the reference variable P1. Now we are going to display system.println P1.id P2.age sorry, here P1. Okay, P1 P3 dot salary not P3. Okay, again P1. Okay, so P1 dot bg salary, here either P1 or you can use yes, either P1 or employee you can use here, because avg salary is a class attribute. No, now let's see. I'm going to save this, and now here last 4 lines you can see. So now you can see we displayed the object pointed by P1. That means definitely this one. Okay, that is why now you can see the values of the attributes of this one. Okay, let's move to the next part. Try to change the age of the employee with ID 6485. ID 6485. Six four eight five. Yes, this one. E6. 6485 means E6. Now let's try to do that. E6 dot age 1 to 8. Then let's compile and run. Okay, No problem. We do not have any problem, but let's see. Now here we used integer data type, and if you look at int in Java, we can let's go no if int in Java means the range is this one, okay. But if you use byte, the range is this one. Let's use byte here, because we do not need that much large range to store the age. We know, definitely we know, human age is not going to exceed 200, okay. Therefore byte is enough, no. But if you look at byte data type, its range is this one. If you declare variable byte age, if you declare variable, then this variable can hold values, integer values from 128 to 127. This is the range. Now in this exercise you have been asked to assign 1 to 8, 128. So let's see what's going to happen if you do that. Then it says incompatible types, possible lossy conversion from int to byte, okay. It says this one, and that's what I wanted to emphasize by including this question, okay. Now since it gives us an error, let's comment it. Now let's delete to the next part. Delete the object pointed by the reference variable p1. Object pointed by reference variable p1. Now you can see what are the reference variables. Now you know, if you want to delete a particular object, that is automatically deleted if there are no reference variables storing its memory location. Now here you can see P1 is storing the memory location of this object, and also E2 is storing the memory location of this object. In order to delete this object, what should we do? We have to set P1, we have to set P1 value, P1 to null. Doing that is not enough. P1 to null, it is not enough. We have to set E2 to null. Then the memory location of this object is not stored then in any reference variables. Therefore Java will automatically delete this from its memory. Now in order to do that, what you have to do is you have to set P1 to null and not only that, you have to set E2 also to null. Now when we run our code, now that object, okay, this one has been deleted. Okay, then the last part of our exercises, try to execute this statement, this one. P1.age. Now it says null pointer exception. There is an error because now we have already deleted this object and also our value P1 is null. Therefore, we cannot access this attribute. This object has been deleted from the memory. That is why you get this error. Okay, that is what I wanted to explain, and that is the end of our exercises related to the lesson number 1, and thank you for listening.